Hey friends, welcome back to Creators of the Lost Art. Welcome back to my shop. My name is Ron and we have another project. I just finished up all those sourdough spatulas for my friend Jill over at Willow Farms, and next I get to start on creating a whole bunch of these. This is a solid red oak bench scraper, and it's used to mix up the sourdough bread or pizza crust or whatever, and also to be able to clean off your countertop whenever you get done. Much simpler than the sourdough spatulas, but still pretty complicated, so I'm going to walk you through my process. For this project, I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch thick by 5.5 inch wide solid red oak. It's called a hobby panel, but essentially what it is where they've resawn or cut down a wider board into these thin panels, which saved me one really challenging step of creating these thin strips. It's already done for me. And then also the same 1x3 red oak board that we use for the sourdough spatulas. So I've got to get to cutting all of these down. I'm going to cut these down to 5.5 inch lengths on my miter saw, and then take them over to the table saw and rip them in half to make them a little narrower. And I'm going to cut these at 5.5 inches as well. Pieces cut. Now I'm going to take them over to the table saw. I'm going to rip these right down the middle to make two, and this will be the handle. And then I'm going to turn my saw on a 45 degree and cut a bevel on one side of it, and that'll be the area that scrapes. So got a lot of cutting to do. I'm going to put in those noise canceling earbuds and get busy. So my little shop vac dust collection system just started smoking, so I turned it off. Probably have burned it up, but it's time for an upgrade anyway to an actual real dust collection system. But that being said, I've got to do the rest of this with a dust mask on. Welcome to springtime in Central Arkansas. Another rainy day. So first thing this morning I came out, I took my shop vac apart, blew the dust out with my air compressor and oiled the bearings, and it seems to be working okay. So the next thing we got to do is take a 1/4 inch round over bit on the router table, round over all of the corners except for the two short ones here where the blade is going to go in here. I don't want to round that over, I want that to be flat. And then once we're done with that, take it to the belt sander and just kind of touch them up and give it a nice smooth finish before we move on from there. Okay, took a quick break, went and got a replacement shop vac. Also made an upgrade to my router table. The fence on it was getting kind of flaky, it started chipping off, so replaced it with some laminate plywood. Next up, I've got a bucket. I haven't finished all of them, but I wanted to get some of these glued up, so I've got about 25 or 30 in here that are done. I'm going to hit them real quick with some 240 grit sandpaper, just clean it up a little bit, and then we'll be moving over to the table saw to cut that groove in it in order to slide the 1/4 inch piece in there. So, a lot of sanding to do. All right, next up is kind of the sketchy part. I've got a 1/4 inch dado stack in here, which is a saw blade that's cuts that wide of a groove all at one time. And it's kind of the limit of my little job site table saw. So make sure you guys buy these so that I can afford to get a bigger and better table saw. I'm just kidding. I've had this one for a long time and I like it. I've got 20 of these ready. I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. That way I can glue the panels in there. They could be sitting aside waiting for the final sanding. So let me get to it. I've got the 20 handles with the 1/4-inch dados cut in them. Got all of these 1/4-inch pieces cut with the 45. I'm going to hit these real quick with a orbital sander with 320 grit sandpaper just to kind of smooth them out a little bit, soften the edges. And then I'm going to glue these in here using Titebond 3, which is waterproof. When these are finished, they will be waterproof, but not necessarily dishwasher safe. So just hand wash them or wipe them down with a wet cloth or whatever you normally would use. But they're not designed to be submerged long-term in water. May make the glue come loose. So I'm going to finish these up, get them glued up, set on my drying table over there. Then I may go back and sand and cut a few more. Alright, so I'm taking a break from glue up for a little while. I've got, I think, 10 over there. These are a couple that I took out earlier so I could just finish them up, show you what I do. Gonna hit them with the sander again with a 320 grit just to clean off any glue that's been wiped on there. Surprisingly, just a regular old straw did really good at cleaning out that squeeze out along that edge. But I'm gonna sand them. Then I'm gonna wipe them down with mineral oil just to get the dust off of them and to clean them up and to see how the grain's going to look, make sure there's no spots that I need to sand some more on. And then once that dries, I'll pop them in the mineral oil bucket, let them soak for a few minutes, and then pull them out and wipe them down. They'll be finished with just mineral oil. I think that really works well. It's food safe. So get on to a little more sanding, and then I'll finish. Alright guys, here we go. Got these 4 finished. Got that big stack right there to go. They turned out real nice. Nice pretty grain. Nice finish on them. I hope you guys make lots of bread with these. I hope they're the best bench scrapers, I don't know, countertop cleaners, whatever they're used for that you've ever had. I enjoyed making them. And I hope that you enjoy using them. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and thanks for watching.